Oh, Frank just cut out.
Yep, hang on. Sorry. It's gonna be one of those days. I gotta get a new mic. I think it's either my mic or my cord that's retesting. Okay, I'm back. Sorry for that. So yeah, it's just gonna be one of those days where mic's gonna cut in and out, but I know how to handle it. Okay, we're gonna have a fun show today. We might not have break on today, but we've got tons of news to go over. Um, Controversy with the new Wonder Woman movie coming out, which Eric and I will discuss. Um, we are not gonna start our monthly tournament this week.
Well, it's not really a controversy within the movie. It's just keeping it in mind when I talk about the movie.
Yeah, no problem. We are not going to have our tournament starting this week. We'll start it next week. I will announce what the topic will be when we get to free for all. Free for all is just going to be just that, a free for all today. I do have a few things. People DMing me on Twitter about my game of the decade pick. Some people pretty upset, but I'll talk a little bit about that. What else? What else do we got? Eric and I will be reviewing Wonder Woman, so if you don't want to be spoiled, then feel free to mute that portion of the show. We'll try not to spoil too much because it is fairly new. What else we got here? Did I beat Demon Souls? I told everybody my goal was to beat Demon Souls by the end of the year, so you'll find that out during the show. What else? Looks like your Sweetos and Stinkos are kind of old, Eric, or at least your Stinko is.
Yeah, I need to fix that.
Let's see, what else do I got? And that's about it. We might have we got tons of news. We got a homie discount for you, including the new PlayStation Plus games for January, if you haven't heard already. Again, if you're just joining us, the show's RP Grinders. We have not started yet. If you're listening on archives on Twitch or on the YouTube, make sure and join us live every Friday at 7 Eastern Time. Yeah, there you go. I don't see anybody in chat just yet, but it's the first show of the year. Happy New Year to everybody. Yeah, it's going to be a swift, brisk show, I believe. So there you go. Lots to talk about in the news. I think we got, a week and a half, 2 weeks worth of news. So we will go over all of that. Of course, we'll give you those discounts. Eric, like I said, Eric and I will be reviewing Wonder Woman 1984. What else? Stinko sucked this week for me. Ties into my Sweeto there, so I'll get there and I'll talk about it. What else? Yes, our tournament's going to be delayed till next week. And I will announce what we will be doing during the show. So it'll be fun. We'll do 2 rounds next week. So we might have a little bit longer of a show next week. But there you go. We will get caught up. Because I don't want to do this particular tournament without Breakman. So, it's one of those dealios. How was your week, Eric, before we start the show?
It was mostly okay.
Yeah?
I managed to work out some scheduling with my job so that I don't have to come in 6 in the morning and work overtime, because if they're not going to get a new hire for second shift anytime soon, it doesn't make sense for me to come in an hour earlier if there's not much to do in the morning when the machines aren't running yet.
Yeah. Well, I was kind of wondering about that, Eric. Like that's how companies are. They kind of twist scheduling around every once in a while, and
mean, I don't mind working
Yo.
over if I have to, but I don't want to be there
Yeah.
because the only reason I'm there is because I'm lightening the load of everybody else working on that shift for a couple
Yeah.
hours. So all Frank wanted for Christmas was a cord that worked.
I know. I don't understand.
Can we even do a show like this?
Yeah, hang on, Eric. I got it. I just have to turn my mic upside down. Freak Five's in chat. Happy New Year, Freak Five. Um, gonna have a decent show today. Thanks for joining on the first show of the new year. We haven't started yet. Should be interesting. Break will most likely not be joining us tonight. He's on assignment. He's got, I think he's got like a soiree he's attending, so he may not be able to make it tonight. But we'll see. I doubt it, but let's see. So wishing Breakman Happy New Year on Twitter if you get a chance. But we should have a decent show today. I'm going to delay our tournament. I will announce what we were going to start today, so you guys know what to look forward to. No Harmy. I definitely don't have a harmonica, Freak Five.
There's one more news article that I need to find, and if I could find it, I do want to talk about it.
Well, hurry up. We got a minute. Got a minute, and we're going to start, man. Yeah, so there you go. Sorry, I'm working on my mic here, taking off the little stand so I'm going to have to hold my mic the whole goddamn show. Ugh. Okay, there we go. Take that little stand off. Hopefully my mic won't fuck up. If it does, don't worry. I know how to fix real quick. But I need a new cord. I probably need a new mic. It's about time. I've had this mic for, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 years. It's about time to get a new one. So yeah. Did you find the article, Eric?
Yeah.
Is it in the?
It's nothing concrete, but it's probably pointing to something.
Okay. Let me get that article up here. Okay, don't add any more, dude.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. You about ready to start, Eric?
Yeah.
Okay. Let us start the show. Hang on 1 second here. And welcome everybody to episode 623, the first episode of 2021 of RP Grinders. I'm your host, Frank Branches, alongside my trusty cohort, Eric the Great. Breakman will most likely not be joining us tonight, but if he does come on in, we'll get him on in here. Eric, Happy New Year, man.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's I hate the saying, it's got to be better than last year, because maybe it won't be. You know what I mean, Eric?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I never understood how
you cut out for a second.
Did I cut out? I didn't see.
I think it was my fault though, because I did something on Twitch.
I just never understood like people's rationale for that. You know, just because the clock strikes midnight and it's now a new calendar year. I mean, we're still in the middle of a pandemic. You know, it's not. It didn't change like the numbers overnight. You know. So, okay. We should have a hell of a show for you guys today, even if we don't have Break on in here. Got our usual news. I'm going to announce the tournament, but real quick, we're not going to start the tournament this week because I kind of want to wait for Breakman to get on in here to do it. But it should be a ton of fun. I'll announce that later in the show. But other than that, we should We should have a good one. So without further ado, RPG news. All right, Eric, what do we got?
We've got from Nintendo Everything some more Kiseki news. The Legend of Heroes Hajimari no Kiseki has been announced for Switch during Falcom Day 2020 winter, because I guess there's more than one of these a year. But anyways, pre-release released on the PS4, and no Western release announced for either platform or any platform, because knowing NISA, they'll announce it all at once for like all the platforms except Xbox.
Yeah.
But
okay.
They're probably gonna wait until closer to the Western release of the Switch version of Cold Steel 4 before they do something like that.
Okay. You excited for this, Eric? All these games are good. Legend of Heroes is, in my opinion, pretty damn good series.
So I'm wondering if it's the same development port team that's done the previous ports for Cold Steels 3 and 4.
If that's the case, I think they did a decent job, right?
Yeah, I think there were some performance issues later on in the game that they hopefully squashed by now.
Yeah.
For the third game, and definitely for the fourth.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is decent news for sure. All right, let's move on to the next story coming to us from, I believe, RPG site. Yep. Nier Automata has reached 5 million copies in worldwide sales. So yeah, I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but in less than 4 years, it reached 5 million, which I believe is a success. I don't know how Square Enix is viewing this. I don't think they could view it as anything less than a success, right, Eric? Of course, it is. It is Square, so you never know. If it's not doing near Final Fantasy numbers, then you know. So all right. Next story, Eric.
Next story is about Werewolf, the Apocalypse, Heart of the Forest, which launched on PC a while back. Is coming to the Switch on January 7th, so next Thursday.
Yeah, yeah. I saw the trailer. I don't know if you got a chance to look at the trailer, Eric, but it's an interesting looking game. Is it like, it doesn't seem, yeah, it seems like more of like it says narrative RPG, like it's sort of like a visual novel in a way. So this is exciting. Freak says,
yeah, because from what I hear, that there's like almost no combat.
Yeah, Freak says he played the demo on the Switch and liked it. So what is it? Is it just what we're thinking, like sort of like a visual novel-ish type thing, Freak 5 with choices, or?
It's probably more of an adventure game, I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like that too. But one thing that I did have a problem when I watched this trailer, I don't like how they they put up 2 or 3 reviews from like very, very obscure like websites or game publications.
Well, what's wrong with that? Because like they could use rep.
Yeah, but I understand that, Eric. But if you're it's sort of like watching a horror. It happens in horror movies a lot, right? Especially with like B movie horrors. They'll be like, one of the scariest movies I've seen all year, or some.
Oh,
shit,
those kind of things.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of, and I was like, nah, I don't know about that. But
they could have just had a mini accolades trailer and
Yeah.
not have people out on the street go.
Yeah, exactly.
This movie was so good, I was actually paid.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about there. But like just really obscure shit. So, yeah, I'm excited to play this. I think I'll download the demo and give it a whirl, see what it's all about. But it definitely looks better than that other werewolf game that's coming out that looks like shit, to be quite honest with you. But whatever.
I heard. I read. Well, I didn't read the complete review, but the general sense I got from the review from RPG site is that the PC version was fun.
Okay, great.
Although,
That's awesome.
like, the thing they knocked it for was that it's a little short.
This. Oh, okay. You're talking about this game, not the other like
Yeah,
action. Okay,
but
cool.
that's kind of what you get for like $15.
Yeah, yeah. It's not very long, but you know, $15 is a good price point too. Okay. Uh,
Plus, it might be a part. It might be a thing. Maybe there'll be like episodes or something else. So it'll be episodic. So
oh, okay.
who knows?
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next story from rpgsite.net. I think I'll do this one. Did I do the last one? No, I don't. I don't think I did. CL No Surge DX and R No Surge DX delayed to March 4th in Japan. And here's a statement by the producer Akira Tsuchiya. I hereby deeply apologize that the delay in the release of aforementioned games has bothered all related people and everyone who has been looking forward to the release. Personally, I have a strong desire to pursue my obsession with Surge Concerto further no matter what. Under preparedness that this will end up bothering everyone who has been anticipating it, it is with a heavy heart that I decided to delay the release. It's being produced with the wish of always existing together with everyone. We will endeavor to fit it. I think this is a bad translation. It sounds like a bad translation, Eric. We will endeavor to finish it with quality to make you want to have it always exist together in your heart. So, it's kind of a little heartfelt kind of, delay here, but, whatever. And it's coming out for the Vita. Wow, a Vita? What's a Vita? As Break would say.
Well, so what would they add to the Vita version of the game that doesn't already exist on the Vita version of the game?
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Maybe extra chapters or whatever. All right, Eric, what do we got next?
Maybe they figured out how to make the game run better, but they can't exactly patch it into the old game for some reason because the Vita store is kind of locked off from the website or web store.
Yeah, Freak says I would love a Werewolf the Apocalypse action RPG. Well, there's one I think in development, Freak 5, or very close to being to coming out, and it does not look good. I think we had that story last week or the week before, and to me, it just doesn't look good at all. I mean, it looks very, very basic. To me, it looks more of like a mobile.
It doesn't say anything about the Vita release. I mean, Nightmarch has just been mentioning it. Yeah. That's where it originally came from.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's move on, Eric.
We got Good Night Night, which is a game that's launching on early access February 16th. Indie publisher No Gravity Games has announced that indie sneak and slash RPG, so a stealth game, yay.
Yeah.
Good Night Night will launch in early access for Steam and GOG. Okay. Good Night Night was originally set to release in early access in December 2019 before issues resulted in a major delay. And then COVID happened, so it got delayed even further, I guess.
Yeah. I do like one thing about it. I didn't get a chance to look at this trailer, but as I'm looking now, it says it has British humor in it. So I'm totally down for that. So
are we going to cut a redwood with a herring?
What's that?
We're going to go into cut the largest tree with a herring.
Yeah, exactly. Freak says, well, there wasn't a show last week, so it wasn't a story. Okay, the week before, you son of a bitch. The last show. Damn it, Freak 5. You're in already rare form to begin 2021. God damn it, son of a bitch. Okay, let's move on to the next story from RPG site. Disgaea RPG to see a global English launch in spring 2021.
I have no idea why they called it Disgaea RPG, because it's just a mobile version of Disgaea.
Yeah,
exactly. And it's apparently the better version of Disgaea that was on mobile, because there was one before, and it wasn't that great.
Okay. So it'd be handled by Hong Kong-based Boltrend Games, who recently announced Arc the Lad global version. So I guess they're into the mobile side of things, which makes a lot of sense because there's a lot of money to be made on the mobile scene. And then there's just a trailer that obviously listeners cannot hear, but if you're in chat live every Friday 7 Eastern time, you would be able to see.
I'm confused. This isn't the mobile port that I was thinking of. This is a completely different game, but it looks like it's got gacha elements maybe.
Okay. It does look like a completely different game. So, I haven't been exiled since last year, so I'm trying. Yeah, that's right, Freak Five. If you remember last show, I don't think I exiled anybody. I was in the holiday spirit. Not so much today. All right, Eric, what do we got
Oh, I
next?
think I know why they call it RPG, because it's a turn-based game
Oh,
instead of
okay.
strategy RPG.
Oh, that's even better. I would like that better. All right, what's next, Eric?
Um, Final Fantasy 11 for the mobile might been canceled. No, it probably certainly has. But
Oh,
says it looks like development for mobile version of Final Fantasy 11 has stopped production, according to exclusive report by South Korean finance website MTN. Based on a translation posted by Reddit, development of the game has stopped as the team, including director Sim Ji-hoon, has been restructured to work on other Nexon titles such as Project NGR and Tales Weaver M. This information comes from an insider source. Throughout a troubled development, the game had reportedly shifted in the direction of combining the RPG and trading card elements. Plans for a mobile version were first revealed in 2015, and they were working with Nexon to bring the game to phone and tablet devices. And then we pretty much didn't hear anything from it for years.
yeah. Yeah, it's I kind of figured. I mean, especially if you're trying to incorporate new elements into it, it's never a good idea. It's not. It's like rushing two genres together and just mashing them, at the last second, and that's pretty much what it sounds like here. This doesn't sound like it was going very well. Freak Five says you exiled me pre-show last show. Prove it, Freak Five. Prove it. Okay. Anything else on that, Eric?
Not really.
Okay, let's move on to the next story from Gamatsu. If my uh, browser will work here. Uh, Tsukihime, I think that's how you say this. Tsukihime.
Sukahime, yeah.
Tsukihime remake launches in summer 2021 in Japan for the PS4 and Switch. So this goes over the staff. I'm not gonna do a breakman here and butcher all these names. But there is an announcement trailer which I did not get a chance to look at before the show. I think I watched every trailer but this one. How weird.
Mm.
What is this, Eric? Doesn't even say what it is.
It's a
Visual novel?
remake of an old visual novel.
Yeah.
The original visual novel had some erotic elements in it, so it was originally an eroge.
Okay.
But there's enough story there that it doesn't need to be there, because thing is with a lot of these visual novels, like the eroge stuff is usually tacked on to feed a market in Japan that doesn't really exist in the West, and they don't necessarily want to make those parts of the game. But Fate Stay Night, which is in the same universe this game takes place in, um, does, and it's actually important to the plot because
Yeah.
it's the main method of how they get mana.
By having sex?
Yeah, I
Oh.
mean, it's not the only method, but it is the most effective method in that world's universe of
I
mechanics, I
I like
guess.
that. I like that. Where can I get an uncensored version of that? That's awesome.
But it doesn't do it in a way that's crude like some other visual novels have done.
Yeah. Clear your browser history is in chat, or yeah, is in chat. So welcome
But
on in.
but in like a story like Tsukihime, I don't think it's nearly as important.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's time for it. Eric. Like sometimes it makes a lot of sense. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you don't want it to make sense. You just want a little bit of air gay in your life. So
And not to mention the fact that Nasu's earlier work, Tsukihime is like one of his first games, so the artwork isn't really great.
yeah. Okay.
So a remake for it was probably in order.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to the next story, Eric.
If you want, you can watch Tsukihime on I think Crunchyroll. It might be there, or Hulu, one of those two.
Hmm. Okay. Crunchyroll's part of HBO Max, is it not?
Mm, sort of. I mean, I don't think they have their entire library at their fingertips, but some of the stuff that that they were doing is on there now.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
I
next.
think it's mostly the original Crunchyroll original and whatever Viz has on there.
Yeah, okay. It looks okay. I mean, I was browsing. I picked up HBO Max to see. I had a free trial, so picked it up to see Wonder Woman, which we'll be talking about later. Next story, Eric.
All right. Next story. And that reminds me, I need to put that in my Sweetos. Um, but I'll mention it when we get to it. But the next story is that Galgun Returns has been canceled for the Xbox One, which is kind of hilarious because that was the original platform the game launched on. Or
Wow.
the original Xbox 360, that is.
Wow. That's not cool. I wonder why.
And it says, developer Niantic Creates has canceled the Xbox One version of Galgun Return, citing an inability to quote-unquote ensure consistency on the platform, following a discussion from Microsoft. As a master of the original Galgun, we wanted to strive to ensure that we stay true to the spirit of the first entry of the Galgun series. And while development of the Xbox version was complete in the master ROM under review, it became apparent under productive discussion with Microsoft that we would be unable to ensure consistency of experience across all platforms. Which sounds like it might have been that Microsoft kind of has cold feet, kind of like Sony when it regards to the content of the game.
Interesting.
So I'm not gonna say it's censorship because censorship, technically, by its own terms, is something the government does.
Yeah.
So this is more like Microsoft feeling icky about lewd aspects of the game.
It's like self-censorship. I mean, I don't think I have too much problem with that, Eric. Although I really think that game manufacturers need to really reconsider like having AO games or you know what I mean, like it's sort of like we've talked about this before, Eric. Like when
it's probably not even something that would be worthy of it getting an AO, but because of the way that West works, certain things are taken more strictly than others.
Right. I always liken it to like back in the day when there was like, you know, VHS. Like there would be a section back in the video store where you could go and get adult content. That's just the way it was.
And they already skipped the PS4 because they knew Sony would have a problem.
Yeah.
So that means this game is going to be a Switch exclusive, and I'm going to be worried the performance is going to suck because the quality of Galgun 2 on the Switch was horrible. Because it had really terrible load times and bad frame rate.
Yeah, that's a shame, man. That's a shame. All right, anything else on that, Eric?
I'm hoping they can optimize the hell out of it. Now, it's the only version of the game they have that do, unless you're playing the PC.
Yeah.
Which my PC definitely can't run, because that's another problem I have with Galgun 2. Because I had to review that game for PC, and I couldn't, so I reviewed the Switch version instead.
Yeah.
I just didn't talk about the PC's problems.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I'm not sure if it was whether or not the game was just poorly optimized. It probably was, considering how bad Golden Bolt ran, but I wasn't sure. But like, I'm sure my PC needs to be upgraded too.
Yeah, yeah. All right, let's move on to the next story coming to us from Gamatsu as well. Ys 6, the Arc of Naphistum, or Naphistum, coming to iOS, Android.
Naphistum.
No, it's Naphistum. Yeah, I guess. God damn, that's hard to say. Coming to iOS, Android in 2021 in Japan. No further details announced. There's an overview of the game. So there's an announcement. It's coming sometime in 2021 in Japan, and whether or not it makes it over here, it most likely will. So probably 2022 here. So all right, next story, Eric.
Not sure how fun that will play on a mobile.
I know.
It better have gamepad support. That's all I can say.
Yeah. All right. Next story.
Teruyuki Toriyama, who was the producer for Bloodborne Demon Souls, is leaving SIE Japan.
Well, this is a shame. This is a big blow. He's a really good producer.
Yeah. After other producers have left, like Gravity Rush and Silent Hill creator Keiichiro Toyama left in September. He went to some other studio which he founded, and Last Guardian producer Kazunobu Hosato and Junya Kura, who was a designer for the Gravity Rush series, also left Sony.
Yeah, I mean, what are they doing? Not compensating right
So
over there?
Sony, you're letting Microsoft buy all these studios, but you're also letting people go. What are you
Yeah,
doing?
this is not good, man. This is nothing but bad news. Somebody as talented as this guy and the others that you mentioned, Eric, it's someone's got to give here at some point, man. You can't keep giving up your talent like that. I liken it to a football team, just letting people walk into free agency. It's like it I mean, in some cases it works out, but most of the time you need to keep at
I
least
mean, I
some
know
good players,
Sony's Kingdom Studios Japanese side of development has been waning out in recent years, but still.
Yeah, no, but if there's a proven commodity in there, it's this guy, right? I mean, seriously, Toriyama's up there with you know some of the great producers that are going right now. How could you let this guy go? They just don't want to pay the money, I guess, man. That's the only way you could look at it. I mean, unless he was just passionate and wanted to start his own studio. That's about the only other thing
Mm.
I can think of.
So I mean, the only other Japanese development they have is through third parties, like having exclusive rights to the Neo franchise,
Yeah,
which Koei Tecmo makes.
yeah, yeah. Okay, Eric. What do we? Oh, did you do this story? I think you did this story. Next story comes to us from Gamatsu. Oh, Jesus Christ, man. I love it when my browser does that. Okay. From Gamatsu, the Alliance Alive HD Remastered coming to iOS, Android, and early winter 2021 in Japan. So a lot of iOS and mobile device stuff coming in 2021.
At least
Um,
that's a turbo-based RPG, so it'd be easier to play on
yeah,
mobile.
that would be better. I mean, you're right, man. They need to have gamepad support. But then if you're gonna do that, just fucking play your Switch or something. Jesus. So it's gonna sell for 3,420 yen. Pre-orders are available now at 32% off discount, 2,320 yen. So that's a sizable discount if you get it right away.
Mm.
Um, high definition remaster of the original game, which launched for the 3DS. Did you ever play this, Eric?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
reviewed both the 3DS and the Switch
I
versions.
I thought you did. Is it the same, um, at least art designer from the Final Fantasy Chronicles game?
No,
That's what it kind of looks like to me. That type of art style. But all right, that has nothing to do with that.
although a lot of the people in the game are huge Saga fans, so a lot of
Ah,
that game's design philosophy is in it.
gotcha. All right, Eric, what do we got next?
Um, Gloria Union is coming to mobile and Switch. The full subtitle is Gloria Union Twin Fates in Blue Ocean FHD Edition.
Okay.
Full HD, I guess that's what that means.
Full high definition. So 4K? No, it's not 4K.
Is an enhanced port of the June 2011 released PSP Tackle RPG that only came out in Japan, which
Hmm.
sucks because I wanted to play this strategy RPG.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, play it in Japanese,
It,
man.
this is actually a part of the Department Heaven series that other games from Sting has made, like Yggdra Union and Knights in the
Ah.
Nightmare and Gungnir.
Yep. Yep. Okay. I'm familiar with those. Hard as hell, those games. So, but okay.
I think
Uh,
this game also has a sequel, which also never got localized.
yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the next story from Gamatsu. Busta Fellows. I love that name. Coming west for Switch,
Or
PC.
maybe this is the sequel. I don't know.
Busta Fellows coming west for Switch, PC in 2021. So, no real. Uh,
Visual novel that has mafia in it.
oh, okay. Busta Fellows. I like the name. That's kind of cool. So there you go. And then there's some key features. You can unravel mysteries, solve puzzles, choose your destiny, romance five dangerous fellows. Each which what do they call these kind of stories, Eric? It's not the guy with the women. It's the women with the
It's an
guys.
otome.
Yeah, otome. There you go. I couldn't remember the term. So you can unlock different endings, unique interactive gameplay, meet guest characters from Sidekicks, navigate through gorgeous visuals, polished animations, listen to complete Japanese voice cast, including Ken, Yoshimasa Hosoya, and more. So there you go. And then it goes into
Names that would be more relevant to people who are more into the scene than I am. So
yeah, exactly. So there you go. All right, Eric, what do we got next?
uh, the name the main character's name can be changed to whatever you want, but it's Tueta.
Okay. All right, Eric.
Um, let's see. We've got Super Zangiria, which is has been delayed to around spring 2021. Sorry. Platine dispositif. Depositif. There we go. Super Zangiria, also known as Mainsan Wo Mini Shooting Star, is previously planned 2020 release to around spring 2021. Launch for PlayStation 4, Switch, and PS Vita, and it looks like it's a Castlevania clone of some sort.
Yeah, it looks like a real cheap Castlevania clone. I will say though, for the first time ever, I think I've seen you actually battle a peeing statue. You know, like one of those little kids peeing.
And only it's shooting lasers at you.
Yeah, it's shooting lasers, not water. So there you go.
Although this game also looks like it has La Milana type vibes to it too.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it looks like there's lots of ways to die.
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking about getting La Milana, but I remembered how shitty I am at playing video games, Eric. So I was like, no. LOL. I thought Break
La
was
Milana, the
here
Dark
tonight.
Souls of games like Metroidvania and other games like which its most direct inspiration would be the Maze of Gallius.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it just looks like that. But like I said, I do like the fact that there's a peeing statue that pees out lasers. That's kind of cool.
And you could tell it's a total Castlevania clone because she fights with a ball and chain
Yeah, yeah,
instead of a whip.
yeah. And it doesn't even look like aesthetically that great, but maybe it'll be a good game. All right, last story coming to us from GadgetGang.com. I think that's the first time we ever used them. Mega Man Legends coming to PC, SteamDB Records show. I don't know what that means. Between the hordes holding the pitchforks up for Capcom to release a new Mega Man X title and the temporary placated fans of the original series, there lies a small group of people hissing Mega Man Legends under their breath. Somehow, this cult-like minority's voice was heard by Capcom, kind of anyway. Gotta love the writing here. The black sheep of the family has always been overlooked, but there's a decent base of people who thoroughly enjoyed our blue protagonist in 3D. Not X Commander though. We do not talk about that one. Okay.
I like Command Mission. It's got problems, but it's also got not but kind of some neat things in it.
Yeah. So it's coming to Steam, and there you go. So if you're a fan of that series, there you go. I think you and Break did a real good breakdown of all those games. So there you go. And that, my friend, is the news for the week.
But why just Mega Man Legends? Why not Legends 2 and Tron Bon?
Yeah, exactly.
Like do a Legends collection.
Yeah. Okay, we got some homie discounts for you all this week. Eric, let people know what they can get PlayStation Plus wise.
But that might be why there isn't a Legends collection, because there's only 3 games. I don't know if they want to do a bundle with just 3 games.
Yeah. All right. Well, homie discounts, Eric. What do we got?
We've got PS Plus is now $33. Actually, it's like 32.
Yeah, it's like 32.
89.
It's so weird how that fluctuates, man. It's like from week to week it's different, but okay, that deal's still going on. And I never had any. I bought like I think 2 or 3 years of PlayStation Plus, and I didn't have any issues. So I know people were worried about some type of weirdness going on there, but I didn't have any issues at all.
But
all right.
We have got the PS Plus games.
Yeah, what are they, Eric?
We got for the PS4. No, I think these are all PS4 games. Yeah. Okay.
No,
I was.
the Man-Eater game is PS5.
Uh. Oh, it's the PS5 version. I didn't even know there was a PS5 version.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Maneater for the PS5
Yeah.
is PS Plus. I'm glad I haven't bought it yet because now I'll just get a 60 FPS version.
Yeah, exactly. I bought it, but whatever.
But Greedfall, the PS4 version, I'll just buy the PS5 version when it comes out probably. But
Yeah.
once it goes on sale, because I think $50 is a lot for Greedfall.
Greedfall was just on sale, I think, for 15. So I think it was just it might.
Yeah, but that was the PS4 version.
Yeah. I'm not paying the premium for the PS5 version. I'll just wait till it goes down.
So like I could treat this PS4 version like a demo of sorts.
Yeah.
And then Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which I only bought recently, like on sale for like I think $15, maybe $18. I'm not sure.
I got it for like $5, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
At GameStop during Black Friday.
No, it was a PlayStation sale online. I think it was just one of those weird, days where I caught like a few good deals, and that happened to be one. I was gonna, Breakman was generous enough to, I think he did the same with you, Eric. Give us some PlayStation cards, and this is one of the games that I picked up for like $5. It wasn't.
Oh, and even though this article kind of messes up, and it talks about the definitive edition. There is no definitive edition Shadow of Tomb Raider, so it's probably talking about the original Tomb Raider, which you can buy on PSN right now for $15.
Yeah. So there you go.
It doesn't say anything about whether or not Rise is on sale, but I think it is.
Yeah. Okay, so any other homie discounts, Eric?
That's it actually.
Okay, no Dear Breakman this week. Although I got word from Freak5 in chat that he did send one in, but we will eagerly anticipate that for next week.
I actually bought the definitive edition of Tomb Raider on PS4 for like $6 because it was on sale before the end of the year sale ended.
Yeah. That's what I was referring to, Eric, which is fine.
Yeah, okay. But they have a New Year sale in case you missed it, which is more, but it's still better than what its default price is.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to...
Inquiring minds want to know.
Inquiring minds want to know what you've been playing, Eric.
More Ace Attorney, Spirit of Justice. And while I haven't mentioned it the previous weeks, I have been playing through Dragon Quest XI on the PS4 Pro or / PS5.
Yeah, I've been noticing that, Eric. You've been hitting Dragon Quest XI S pretty hard.
And despite skipping all the cutscenes in the game, it took me 107 hours to complete everything.
Oh, jeez, man! Holy.
And that was a lot of preparation because those final bosses are difficult as hell.
Yeah. Freak says he's been playing Hades on the Switch. I've been hearing nothing but praise for Hades. Man.
But that just really tells me the game's story content is only about 30 hours long.
Yeah.
That would have taken me another 30 hours if I had actually sat through everything again.
Yeah. Hades, I heard, is really good, Freak5. I've been hearing nothing but praise for Hades.
So, yeah, I just did a trophy run for that game.
Yeah. Well, that's cool, man.
When I play the game on Xbox, I don't know if I'll be playing it through the past. I might just buy it again because I'll support Dragon Quest at the end of time.
Yeah.
I'll probably just be doing the 2D run mode.
Yeah. Yeah, 2D run mode looks good too. Freak5 says he likes Hades. Like I said, I've heard nothing but praise for Hades, man. We should get Kasavin back on, man. We've had Kasavin back on for when he did Bastion. We should I should text him, see if he wants to come back on the show. That'd be cool to have Greg back on the show. Okay. Anything else you've been playing, Eric?
Yeah, like. In case I didn't mention it before, I did get the platinum for Dragon Quest XI-S.
Yeah, I saw that, man. That's a big accomplishment, man. Congrats on that. Like you you fucking kill it, man. I don't know how you get platinums on like the Souls games at all, man. Like I can't fathom it, man. Like you have to be like super expert, level gamer in order to do that type of stuff. But congrats, man. Okay, anything else, Eric?
No.
Okay. I did play Demon Souls. Did I finish it? No, I did not finish it like I wanted to. But I did kick the Flame Lurker's ass. And I did it half cheese and half regular. At first, I was cheesing with arrows. And then, Eric, something weird happened to me. My what do you call it? My bow got damaged. So I wasn't paying attention to the.
You used it too much in it, bro.
Yeah, I used it way too much, but I had been using it the whole game practically, and then so right in the middle of this battle, it fucking breaks. So then I'm not doing any damage with the so I have to fucking hit it with my +9 halberd, and eventually whittled him down and got it to the point where
he actually is susceptible to magic.
Yeah, I didn't have very much magic type stuff. The only thing I had was holy arrows, which were working really good until, like I said, my bow broke.
If you were going to do a mage run, you could have used the Crescent Falchion instead.
Yeah, I didn't have that Falchion. I don't think I don't have very many special weapons. I just have that +9 halberd that I started with the halberd and I just kept upgrading it, and that's what and it works well. I mean, it's working okay.
Or you could have gotten Demon Brant and then have been pure white character tendency and just wrecked it.
Yeah, I'm not doing that pure white shit, man. It's just for me, that type of stuff is gonna have to wait until I beat the main game, and then I'll worry about maybe doing.
I don't understand why people play the game in human form, because it just makes it harder when you die.
It does. It sucks because and then people invade. I got invaded. I forgot to just.
Also, there's that because if you're a human form, people will invade you.
Yeah, and there's no real way to combat that. And then these people are so good. You're dead in one hit. What is the fun in that? I don't understand why people think that's fun. I don't know, but whatever. So
I mean, if you want to do PvP, then fine, but the game's not exactly set up for it. I mean, people can agree to meet up and then do PvP, but
yeah.
people just joining your games are just trolls.
Yeah, I don't like it. I wish that was one thing that you just could not do unless somebody specifically let you do it. It's not fun. It's not. I don't see how anybody could find the fun.
I think they changed it in Dark Souls, where one of the reasons that you might want to invade someone is to take the evil route of getting your body or your humanity back by killing somebody.
Yeah, to me it's just not fun. I don't, especially if you're overpowered and you got all kinds of overpowered weapons, and you're gonna invade somebody's game that's just starting and wreck them. It's just, I don't see how that's fun or enjoyable in any form or fashion. It's just, to me, I wouldn't even think if it would be fun if I was doing that. If I was the one invading, and I just don't understand that concept, but whatever.
Yeah, I invaded once for a trophy, but that's it.
Yeah. I also been playing Ziggurat, Freak 5 says. I don't even know what that is, Freak 5, but it sounds fun. So yeah, I've been playing Demon Souls. I did beat the Flame Lurker finally after I think 10 tries or so. I cheesed half of it. I'm not gonna lie, I cheesed half of it, but that was only because, like I said, that bow broke, and I'm fuck this. I'm tired of doing. It's just basically the same pattern over and over. So I just cheesed the end of it. So there you go. I beat the Flame Lurker, so I'm pretty happy with that. So. Okay, let us move on to
RP Grinders reviews.
All right, Eric and I both we both had the opportunity to see Wonder Woman. So if you don't want to be, we're going to avoid spoilers as much as we can. But Freak, if
I
you
don't
don't,
think I don't think I can avoid spoiling one part of the movie, but I'll try to be as vague as possible, I
yeah,
guess.
you might Freak if you don't want to be if you haven't seen Wonder Woman and don't want to be spoiled until you've seen it, then you can probably fast forward the pod about I don't know, maybe 5-10 minutes or so, and then you'll. But if you're listening in chat like Freak, you might want to mute for. I'll let you know when we're done reviewing Wonder Woman. We're gonna try our best not to spoil anything, but so you've been forewarned. Here is our review of Wonder Woman. All right, Eric, what you got?
Boy, this movie. It is much like Rise of Skywalker in the sense that lots of studio interference and too many writers putting their hands in the plot ruined it, in my opinion.
I'm not gonna be as harsh on it, Eric. I think it was.
I'm not that harsh on it, but it's something I can't avoid mentioning because I think that is what ruined the movie a bit.
I actually think the movie was okay, but the whole premise of the movie was BS. Okay, it's basically it boiled down to like wishing on a star type shit, and I'm like, well, this is. I mean, now we're introducing magic into the DC universe. Like honestly, like I don't mind like the god status of Diana Prince and that whole thing because that ties into the comic, but now we're starting to introduce magical elements, and
Yeah, but DC already had that kind of stuff anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Sort of, but not in this manner. This was just blatantly weird. I don't know. It was just, it's sort of like Patty Jenkins had to direct, like you said, some hodgepodge writing, in order, and she did the best she could. The direction was great. Like the opening. The opening scene I thought was really cool, Eric. Seeing
like the Amazon games doing the whole Ninja Warrior type thing.
Yeah, I thought that was a great way to open up the movie and kind of inspiring and a great way to set up this movie to see kind of how Wonder Woman developed as a kid. Because you didn't get any of that from the first one.
But I think Gal Gadot is a bad actor.
I think she's perfect for this role. I don't think she has to do much more than what she did.
Then again, like it has more to do with her lines that she was given, rather and her delivery of said lines.
Right. Her delivery wasn't terrible, but I mean, honestly, Eric, I can't think of anybody that.
And I could mention that setting aside the actual personal problems of Gal Gadot herself. Which if you don't understand, I have got a link in the chat, and I'm gonna open it right now. But back when she was 18, like everybody else who lived in Israel, she had to serve in the IDF.
Yeah.
So she probably committed war crimes. And the movie has a scene in Egypt that it also involves Middle Easterners.
You can't.
And they kind of undid some of those war crimes.
You can't assume that she was a war criminal, Eric, because, like, what if she was just like assigned to a desk job or something? You know what I mean? Like, you can't assume that she did war crimes. I mean, maybe she did, maybe she didn't. But the point
here's what makes it a little bit more insidious on her part, though, is because she's very pro-Israel in real life.
Right, because she's from there, Eric. I mean, the thing that she was upset about and people were upset about was a tweet about 6 years ago where Hamas, which is totally separate from Palestine, Hamas is a terrible terrorist organization that nobody thinks that those are good people. You can't, but the Palestinians are separate from Hamas. You know what I mean? And Hamas murdered a bunch of people, and that's what Gal Gadot was referencing in her tweet. I guess I can understand that. But the whole Israel versus Palestine thing is a whole different animal that obviously I'm on the side of the Palestinians, man. Anytime people are getting, genocide and moved out of their territories and, stuff like that. It's never a good thing. Dungeons in chat, he says World War. Yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
Yeah, World War 84.
Yeah, World War 84. Wonder Woman 84 was kind of weird to me. I didn't hate it. It was okay. Just made some weird turns. Exactly, Dungeon. And it goes to what Eric was saying. It seems like
here's some of the also really not great stuff in the movie, like the fact that not only the method of how Steve came back, but also the fact that of the implications of what that means for the rest of the plot. Because there's a scene in the movie where they got out of bed, and because of the way Steve came back, it's more like that person that got raped somehow.
I guess, Eric. I just thought I'm with
It's like, why would you fuck someone when you know that they aren't who they are?
Well, it was that whole magical everybody make a wish. It was like Make-A-Wish Foundation came and granted everybody their fucking
Also,
wish.
the way the ending panned out, it's like none of it mattered anyway.
Yeah, it was just like a reverse Thanos snap at the end. Yeah, exactly. Dungeon says Happy New Year's to you too, RP Grinders. Absolutely, Dungeon. Happy New Year to you too. Doesn't magically change.
But my
the
other
pandemic,
problems
but
with
yes.
the movie have to do with the very, very terrible CG and green screening in the movie.
What are you referring to, Eric? Because I've heard this criticism, and I didn't see much in the way of that. Like I didn't think it was
like
that,
I
that
just
bad.
think that Cheetah was rendered poorly, and I think the fact that the green screen was very obvious in the background, you could tell it was a green screen.
I'll give you that.
It just screamed low budget.
Cheetah was not handled very well in this. Although I will say, they did something in this movie that was actually kind of cool. Like Gal Gadot
Also, here's another thing I need to talk about while we're on the subject of Cheetah. Like, Cheetah's character Barbara wanted to be like her, but because the wishes are like not they're monkey's paw type wishes.
Yeah.
And so it's okay to want to be somebody, but once you actually do become somebody, it's a bad thing. So it's like, it's sending a wrong, weird mixed message going on there.
Yeah, it was
like
kind
you
of.
can't have what Diana has because, apparently only certain people can have that.
Yeah. No, here's a couple of observations. Dungeon says the beginning was really cool, which we had already mentioned. Dungeon, that beginning was cool. The mall scene felt like it channeled the old Superman films with Reeves. I agree. You know what I got the feel for the mall scene, Dungeon? I thought it felt like Commando, like when Arnold was going through that mall and just kind of kicking ass as that one guy. Hey girls, that security guard. He was like, hey girls, you want to see me kick some ass? I thought it had kind of that Commando style charm to it. I don't know. I thought that was a cool scene too. But in regards to like, yeah, Commando's so good.
And I could complain about some of the fans that were pooping on this movie, but it's like you live in on one hand, you got people who are living in a pandemic and wanting to escape the horribleness of reality any way they can.
Yeah.
But then those people are also maybe too accepting of this film and not looking at its flaws critically enough.
I agree, Eric. But let me say one good thing about this movie. We were gonna get into it with Cheetah and Wonder Woman, how Kristen Wiig's character. Actually, I thought they did a really good job in like dressing down Gal Gadot, because Gal Gadot is probably, whether you like her or don't, doesn't matter. She's a beautiful woman, right? And they kind of like in her dress, like didn't make her look quite as hot. And then somebody like Kristen Wiig, who I never saw as like a super beautiful woman, but in this movie she was super good looking, and they dressed her up. So I thought it was a good way to show the contrast. Like, yeah, I don't know, that part I thought was okay, but the rest of the movie was like, it's kind of take it or leave it. It didn't even really feel like did it feel like a comic book movie to you, Eric? Because it didn't feel like a comic book movie to me.
No.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that might be a good thing, because I'm kind of sick of the MCU.
I'm not. Shit. Give me more MCU, man. I'm all over that.
No,
man.
Here's the problem I have with the MCU. It's actionally schlock with no like social commentary that is meaningful whatsoever usually.
Yeah, but sometimes.
And it's mostly propaganda for the military-industrial complex.
Yeah, I can see where you would see that, Eric. But I mean, this is the world we're living in. We're living in a real world where the military industrial
Yeah, but it's not
complex
commentary
owns.
on it. It's pro military-industrial
Yeah.
complex
Well,
and status quo.
what isn't sports? Sport, like if you look at
But
the
that's what
NFL.
you get when you get Disney. Disney is a status quo company.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. But it doesn't take away from the movies. I don't think, Eric. I think they're.
I mean, sure, they're entertaining enough, but
Yeah.
when you actually look at it with a critical lens, it's kind of boring.
Well, I mean, to each his own. I still think they do a better job of handling their heroes than DC does by far. But whatever. I love the MCU, man. I like that type of stuff. But I agree with you. If they could get away from that type of theme every once in a while, it's good. I think they will. Like I think.
Like, was this movie in production before Shazam and Birds of Prey was?
I want to say yes, it was.
So that might explain the weird shift in like tones. They had some momentum going, and then I felt like they lost it. But I feel like maybe that's only because it was done before
I do feel
they started getting
yeah.
their act together.
Yeah, and I do think like one of the weak parts of the movie was Pascal, the villain. His name is not John Pascal.
Max
Pedro.
Lord.
Yeah, the Mandalorian. It was just way too over the top for me, and I don't know, it just seemed unfulfilled. Like it was.
See,
just,
there's cheesiness, and then there's just trying too hard, and this
yeah,
movie's trying too hard.
it just seemed like he was trying to. Exactly. I couldn't have said it better, Eric. That's exactly right. But other than that, I didn't. I mean, it was kind of milk toast in a way. You know what I mean? Like it didn't offend me, but it didn't like exactly excite me either. And I almost
also the Middle Easterners were very horribly stereotyped.
Yeah, that too.
It's like
Yeah.
I know it's the '80s, but it doesn't mean you have to make it look like the way we treated people in the '80s in the representation.
Oh yeah. No, I agree, man. It was yeah. Plus the '80s aesthetic didn't really pop like the '80s popped. You know what I mean? Like if you were to have lived through the '80s like I did, like it fell short on that regard too. It like the commercials made it seem like they were gonna go all in on the '80s aesthetic and stuff like that.
I think I kind of get what they were doing with the whole Wish thing and like
Yeah.
how people were wanting to live in excess because of the economic boom,
Yeah.
but I don't think that message was communicated very well.
Yeah, Dungeon brings up a good point. It did need more '80s music. It needed more '80s music and more '80s clothes. It didn't have quite like I know they tried to do it with Chris Pine's character, but it didn't. I don't know, it didn't resonate with me. Dungeon like living through that era, like it didn't seem '80s to me. I don't know. It seemed more like a more of a more modern, like maybe '90s or even 2000s aesthetic than an '80s aesthetic. Okay, what are you giving Wonder Woman, Eric?
I'm gonna give it a 5.5.
Yeah, that's close to what I was gonna give it. I was gonna give it a 6.5. So
Before I was gonna give it a 4.5 instead, but I thought about it a little bit more.
it's better than average. That's what I can say. It's better average. It didn't. Dungeon says it didn't seem very '80s to me either. It was like here's some '80s at the mall and then not much else. Yeah, exactly, Dungeon. Like exactly. So yeah. I mean, it's what can we say? It's just slightly above average. It's a slightly above average superhero movie, I guess. So
Hopefully, the next Wonder Woman movie will be much improved.
yeah, I'm sure it will. Patty Jenkins has already said she's got 2 more Wonder Woman stories to tell, and
I'll have full directorial control. Woo!
Yep, exactly.
Because the movie sold like gangbusters, despite the pandemic and the fact that most people were probably watching it on HBO Max anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 17 million down from 100 million, but I mean that's.
So I paid for my subscription, so that's like a $15 ticket right there.
Yeah. Well, and I got a free trial, so I saw it for free. But
Well, I think when you subscribe as a first-time user, you get a free month, and then they charge you afterwards.
No. That's not the case. The only way you could get like free free trials and stuff is like if you go through Best Buy or stuff, because I think they got a deal. But okay, Freak 5, you can come back now. We're done talking Wonder Woman.
Well,
So
all I know is I didn't have to pay up front, so I have to pay at the end of the month.
yeah. Okay, Freak, you can come back. Let us move on. I don't think any of us have any more reviews. I think that's it for reviews today. By the way, I didn't even welcome you in, Dungeon. You kind of stealthed in there, but welcome into the show, of course. Let's see. Let's move on to everybody's favorite segment.
Ah, what is it?
Stinko of the week.
All right, Eric, you're up. Your Stinko of the week.
My Stinko of the week is that Flash, as a means of the web Flash, that stuff's dead now.
Why is that a Stinko?
Because lots of stuff was in Flash, especially Homestar Runner.
I think that's.
I mean, it's coming back, but it's going to be a while before it comes back with the HTML5. But whatever. Yeah. But it's still like, eh. And I think maybe not everything's coming back.
I think Flash being gone is a good thing. That thing, Flash just sucked. So, I mean, I can't tell you the number of things that Flash has fucking ruined or bugged out on, like games and other type shit.
Yeah, for game development, it's not great.
Yeah,
we're not talking about that really. I'm talking about like simple web stuff.
I mean, I just think it's like a long time coming, Eric. I mean, we've had HTML5 for how long now? You know, it's like it's time to go. Freak 5 says his Stinko is Moscow Mitch. Actually, you could put the Democrats in that too, Freak 5, because not only did Moscow Mitch like
only 5 Democrats voted for the $2,000 stimulus bill.
Yep. All the Democrats voted it. They had Mitch McConnell by the balls, and they decided to go the other way. So fuck them too, man. Flash was a PETA and a security problem. Yeah, that's right. But it did bring some cool stuff to life. I agree, Dungeon.
It's so weird that Trump and Bernie were working together to get that bill passed.
Well, Trump doesn't give a shit, man. He just said it to spite the Republicans. But when you got Republicans...
But hey, I'll take results when I can take them.
I agree with you 100%, Eric. And when you got other Republicans like Hawley, piece of shit Hawley, saying in Congress that he wants a standalone vote, and Mitch McConnell won't even bring it for a vote, like... Put their asses to the fire, Democrats. All they had to do.
Why can't someone Robin Hood all of Mitch's money and then see how he feels like the rest of us?
I know, man, but no. I mean, obviously, it's not going to happen. We're just going to have to hope these people die. I was like, that's just the way it is.
Please catch COVID, Mitch.
Yeah. All right, my Stinko of the week. I don't know if people watch wrestling that listen to the show, but Brody Lee, aka in the WWE, if you're in the WWE, you probably knew him as Luke Harper, but his real name was John Huber, but he was known as Brody Lee in the AEW side of things. But he passed away suddenly at the age of 41. He had apparently had some sort of lung issues. It was not COVID related, but I'm a little skeptical that maybe COVID wasn't involved, but I'll take their word for it. Obviously, the family knows more than I ever would. But
I also want to say for another Stinko, but
hold on,
I was trying to remember his name, and I finally remembered it.
You want me to let me finish, or you want to go ahead?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Go ahead.
But he passed away, and it was real shitty. But it ties into my Sweeto, which I'll talk about in a second. What was your other Stinko, Eric?
My Stinko is that some rapper named MF Root, who I've never heard of before, passed away recently.
DM Doom or something like that.
Oh yeah, MF Doom. That's
MF
his
Doom.
name.
Yeah, I never heard of him either, but
But a rapper dying.
Yeah. Let's see. So it kind of ties into my Sweeto, so I'll get into that too. Being that Brody Lee died, they did a really touching tribute to Brody Lee. And they did one of the classiest things I've ever seen a big-time company do. They signed his 8-year-old son, to a contract. I didn't know this. Freak Five says Shabba-Doo died, and so did Don Wells died? Really, Freak Five? Damn. I didn't even hear that. That's sad too. That's definitely stinko. But yeah, so they did a really cool. Hold on, Eric. Let me finish. They did a really cool tribute to Brody Lee, and they gave his son basically a lifetime contract, and they retired the belt that Brody Lee had won. So it was actually a really cool, classy way to do things for Brody Lee. He says Freak Fight says Don Wells died of COVID. Wow. Yeah, that sucks.
But the other stinko I had, and I wanted to bring up, but there were some very evil pharmacists who decided to fuck with the COVID vaccines at this location, and he gave these, and he basically let them sit out and expire, and they're ruined. But he also then, I don't know if it was he or she, but they also gave them to 56 people before they were caught.
Yeah. Well,
that pharmacist.
That's a sweeto. They were put in jail for it too.
Yeah, that's the only sweeto about it, because they were caught.
Yeah, that's terrible. That's
56 too many.
It is, and it's 500 doses of vaccines that it could have saved. Probably out of that 500, at least 1 or 2 lives. It's so stupid. For those who don't know who Don Wells was, that's Marianne from Gilligan's Island. So there you go. Okay.
It was a male. Okay.
It was a he, and according to the police, he did it intentionally by leaving them out. Vaccines have to be kept. Of course, they have to be kept. Jesus Christ, what an idiot. Any other sweetos, Eric?
No, that's it.
Okay. We don't have much of a free-for-all today, but why don't we do it?
It's a free-for-all!
I got a topic.
Okay, normally in this spot we do our monthly tournaments, but I will announce the tournament. We're not going to start it this week because Break's not here, and I did it. I'm not doing it on purpose because I want Break to be here because it's his topic that I feel we should do first, and then next month, Eric, we'll do your topic. We had a poll and it was 50.
Oh no, hold on,
Eric.
I want to talk about something different.
Hold on, Eric. Can I finish?
Has nothing to do with the
Eric,
tournament.
Can you hear me, Eric?
Yeah.
All right, let me finish what I'm saying before you chime in, dude. Okay, we're not doing the tournament this week, but this month's tournament will start next week. Is going to be 80s TV themes. So it's going to be super fun. I already have every theme. I've got most themes that are great. I know there's a few.
I think I'll just sleep during that segment.
Hang on, Eric. There's a few. No, I don't think you'll sleep. You'll have fun with it, dude. I'll play some of the themes. I can't play a lot of the themes.
I was too young in the 80s to watch any of that stuff.
Well,
though.
you got some homework to do then, Eric. Go listen to 80s TV themes on YouTube. It'll take you every bit.
Are we gonna play them on air so I can make a judgment though?
I just told you to go listen to them. I can't play every one, otherwise we'd be.
Oh yeah, you'll get in trouble. Plus, there's that law in that right now that you'll get arrested.
I won't get in trouble. I can play a certain, amount of each one, but
Just give me a list and I'll listen to them.
But okay, I'll give you a list, Eric. But you could just go to YouTube and just look up.
Yeah, I know. I'll listen to them on my own time, but I just want to listen titles.
Right. Okay, I'll send you a list later, dude. Dungeon says it's all good. Let's wait for Break. If Wonder Woman 84 won't bring enough 80s, we will. If you can find them, then maybe you can hire the A-Team. Dun, 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 dun. Of course, that's going to be on the list, Dungeon. You knew that was going to be on the list. But there's some good ones, Dungeon. There were some themes that I totally fucking forgot, man. It's going to be a hell of a fucking month of doing it, and we'll do two. We will do 2 rounds next week. So next week's
So
show.
is these live action shows, or is it
Li-
not limited to just live
No,
action?
it's just limited to live action. I did not have
Oh,
room.
I can't put Thundercats there.
No Thundercats. No Thundercats, man. We'll have to do it.
I guess we'll have to do a separate cartoon theme.
We might have to do a separate, but I don't even know if there's enough 80s cartoon. Maybe there is. I don't know. I have to look, but
It'd have to be stuff that was made in the West, because a lot of themes for, unless it's tokusatsu, animes typically had songs.
Yeah. No, there's some. I don't know. I mean, there might be enough to fill 64 slots, but let me go through a couple of these just as for the people in chat and the people listening on archives. I'll start at the top here. One of them is Alf. Alf has a good theme. I don't know if you guys remember it, but I'm just gonna pick them at random here. But I'm not gonna go through all of them. But Fall Guy is on the list. Matlock is on the list. Matlock had a great theme. I didn't like the show, but
Perry Mason.
I didn't put Perry Mason on the list. It's not on the list. Yep. Bosom Buddies, of course. I can't play that one.
What a Columbo.
I cannot put Columbo on there. Columbo didn't have I think that started the 70s, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
But let me take a look here. Look at this one, man. Trapper John is on there. Trapper John MD, which had a great theme. Of course, Cheers is on there. Dukes of Hazzard. How could you not?
Frasier's probably 90s, so that won't count.
Yeah, if it didn't start in the 80s, it didn't make it.
I don't know. I don't think Frasier is even hitting 1989.
Here's a dark horse. Here's a dark horse. Family Ties on the list, Dungeon, for sure.
I guess we can include. No, that's cartoons. Because I was gonna say Simpsons. I was like, no.
You can't add that. Yep, no animated. Automan, Dungeon Buster. I don't know if you remember Automan, but it made the list, man. So I'm pretty excited, man.
Family Ties.
Family Ties did make it to the list. So
Full House.
Full House made it barely, but it made it. I had some tough choices.
I think that's like 87, maybe.
Yeah. Full House did make it. How about this? Amazing Stories. So there you go. The car that turns 90 degrees. Yep, Dungeon. Well, and then also, like, the dude could make, like, shit out of thin air, man. Automan was kind of underrated, man. It was like Tron. It was pretty much Tron TV show, pretty much. So there's some stuff on here. I can't.
Airwolf.
Definitely on the list, man. How could you not put
Shoplifter?
Which one?
Wait, that's a game. Never mind.
I was like, really?
Shoplifter was inspired by Airwolf. That's what I was thinking of.
There's some surprise. I'm not gonna reveal all of them because there's some surprises on this list. You're gonna be surprised at some of these, and I've already mentioned some, but some.
What if the Equalizer?
What's that?
The Equalizer.
I did not put Equalizer on the list, no. But there's plenty of theme songs, like, and we're not going by quality of the show, okay? We're just purely going quality of the theme. But I'll send you this list later, Eric. But it's gonna be a ton of fun. You guys are gonna want to stick around for that.
So
all right, Eric.
Is the 80s version of the Outer Limits on there?
It is not. It is not on the list. It didn't make it. I couldn't fit everything on the list. I thought about it, Eric, but I can't. I couldn't make it. Knight Rider made the list, Freak 5. So yes, Knight Rider's on.
MacGyver.
MacGyver's on the list. Yeah. Yes, MacGyver's on the list. Okay, real quickly, let me talk about something somebody bugged me in my DMs for. They listened to the show, Tales of the Gold Monkey. Is that even a show?
Anyways, I wanted to get to what my topic was.
Okay, hold on. Before you get to your topic, Eric, real quickly, I just want to address something somebody said in my DMs. They listened to the show, and they called me out on me naming Witcher. I believe I named Witcher 3 my game of the decade, and they knew that I had been praising Bloodborne to no end, which I do praise praise Bloodborne. I think Bloodborne, if I had played extensively, Bloodborne would have been number one on my list, like games of the decade. It's definitely in my top.
That's why I put Dark Souls as my game of the decade, because without Dark Souls, there wouldn't have been Bloodborne.
Yeah, no, I can understand your pick for sure. But Bloodborne probably would have been at the pinnacle for me if I had beaten the game, and if I could play it in 60 frames per second, I might have done that. But yeah, no. Witcher 3 is I think a slightly better game in a lot of regards, but so that's why I didn't. But Bloodborne would have definitely been up there. Let's see. Dungeon says I went surfing for adventure shows on YouTube, and it came up as an '80s show that was like Indiana Jones, but in episodes. I'd never seen that. Never seen that, Dungeon. Okay, Eric, your free for all topic for this week.
My free for all topic is just addressing something I felt remiss in when we were doing our games of the year, but I shouldn't have included a topic. What was your favorite indie game of the year?
Okay, so what?
And I'm gonna keep it regardless of year, just to keep it simple, because there wasn't a whole lot of games there was a lot of indies this year, but there wasn't a whole lot that I actually played. So
Yeah, the same here, Eric. So what would you pick though?
So I'd pick Hollow Knight.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice. That's a super difficult game. I did play it and I liked what I played. Similar to Salt and Sanctuary in a lot of ways, but definitely a good game. It was just way too punishing for me to play. Like
what would be your indie game of the year? We can do break next week.
Oh gosh, I didn't play a lot, to be honest with you, man. If I would have played Hades might have been up there from what I've seen.
Yeah, I the only reason I didn't pick Hades for this year, because it's not a game I could recommend easily, despite how much fun I've had with it, because it is a roguelike, and you're going to be dying a lot, and if you can't beat it easily, I don't think it's a game that deserves a game of the year in most respects, because it's a game that I highly rate, but I wouldn't make it a game of the year personally.
I disagree, because Demon Souls is hard as hell. I mean, I know it's not hard as hell as far as Souls-like games go, Eric, but it's hard enough, and that had no bearing on me picking it. I played it before, and what they did with that game is just astonishing.
But I think the only other reason I didn't make it, if I had made a game of the year for this year specifically, I probably would have put it there. But I played so few indie games released this year that I left it out.
I mean, the only real, I mean, I don't think it came out in 2020, but I think Guacamelee 2 was an excellent game. I mean, I didn't beat it, but I mean, if I had to say the best indie game I played all of last year, it was definitely Guacamelee 2. Like, I don't know, I just love the aesthetic and, you know, the I don't know, the stylized way in it, the way it handled being kind of a Metroidvania type.
And also,
type
I
game.
still have to review Hades, so I don't feel right about like giving a game of the year, the game that I haven't even written a review for yet, because I've been so busy with my job.
Yeah, no, I know you've been really busy, but no, I'm with you, Eric. I didn't play a ton of indie games. I don't have a lot of time to play. Like, I mean, I'm not being a snob. I love indie games, but like in thinking about it, I think that's. I mean, I played.
You played the Talos Principle, didn't you?
The Talos Principle I did play, and that was an excellent game. But the only reason that I wouldn't say that was the best indie game I played all year is because some of the puzzles were a little too obtuse. You know, it's like
what about Erica? Didn't you play that too?
I did play Erica, and I mentioned it, and I almost gave it my game of the year, just because I thought it was very simplistic, but the story was cool, and the direction of that game was really excellent. So that'd be up there, Eric. I didn't think it was the greatest game in the world, but I did think it was a good version of a full motion type game. You know, it worked really well, and for a freebie, I couldn't have asked for much better. So yeah, it's a good point, Eric. That's a good point. That would definitely be up there. But to see what. You know, the thing about that game, I had the hardest time figuring out like how to do things. Like I kept wanting to push the touchpad, like push it instead of just gently like brushing it and stuff, like what the game was telling me to do. But other than that, like I can't think of very many other indie games.
I wonder how well the PS5 and Xbox Series X version of Observer plays compared to the Switch.
I was curious about that, but I don't want to. That's another game I played last year. That
like I want to buy it, but not at the price point it currently sits
yeah, I think
at.
it's $30 right now, and I don't want to pay that. I already beat that game. I don't, you know, I think it's a good game, and it's a fitting end to Rutger Hauer's career, I think. But I don't know. I just don't.
It's more cyberpunk than cyberpunk.
Yeah, for sure. Like it's definitely a cyberpunk game, and it's good. It's really good. I liked Observer quite a bit. So no arguments for me there. That's another great indie game I played last year. So
I don't know. We Jim Sterling had a really shitty games of the year, and he put, of course, Cyberpunk there, but he also put Avengers there.
Yeah, I knew Avengers would.
And the remake of 13, which I have to actually review, and I haven't touched because it's so terrible.
Which one?
It was. I heard about how awful it was before I even got to it, and it's like, you know what?
Oh,
the game's not even half baked; it's quarter baked.
Oh, 13, the remake. Yeah. Dungeon said Observer was pretty cool. I liked it, especially as a cyberpunk game. Yeah, I was surprised. It did kind of remind me of Blade Runner in a way. Dungeon. I liked Observer quite a bit. I mean, it once I got the hang, I couldn't figure out, like, to me it seemed all washed out with its graphical style. Like it didn't click with me at first, and then it just
I can't review a game that is definitely wasn't QA'd and shouldn't have been released in the state it was.
No, I know. You should just you know, to give it what it deserves, Eric. Dungeon says the quote remake of 13 is a flaming wreck. Yeah, like they took.
So not only do things work, but they got rid of the art style that made it iconic in the first place.
Yep, they got rid of that art style, man, and that killed that game, man.
So the game's going to relaunch, and hopefully it brings the art style back.
I hope, man, because that was part of the charm of that game when it first came out.
Why hasn't that been delisted?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Because nobody's gonna sue.
They probably won't remove the art style that they're using currently, but they'll offer a cel shaded filter.
Oh my god, that would probably make that game way better, man. But I heard that game is just ass, just straight ass, man. So
it was made by people who apparently didn't know any goddamn thing about the original.
Yeah. The original was good. I think that was a PS2 game, wasn't it, Eric? Or was it PS3? I could be wrong.
PS2, Xbox, and PC.
Yeah.
Sadly, no GameCube release.
Yeah. What else you got, Eric? Anything else for Free For All?
Nope, that's about it.
Okay. Next week's gonna be really fun. Like I said, we're gonna have our 80s TV theme for the month, and we're gonna do next week's show might be a little longer because we're gonna do 2 rounds to make up for this week not going through, because I do have a very solid 64.
How dare you, Freak?
Maybe ass, but it was how dare you, Freak 5, exiled, you son of a bitch. First, how about that? You get the what is this? The second
exile. I'll exile you.
Oh, there you go. The double exile, Freak 5. That's a rarity, man. You can unlock that achievement. Okay. Check this out, guys. TJ Hooker made the cut for best theme songs, 80s TV theme songs.
I don't even know what that show is.
It was a fun show, Eric, but the theme is pretty good, man. Like, I'll send you this list. You got to listen to them, man. They're a lot of them are real fun. Some of them a little like obscure, like I mentioned, Automan. Like who remembers Automan? You know, it's like nobody remembers that, man. I had to leave off some. Like I left off like 227.
Was Murder She Wrote an 80s show?
Yes, and it's on the list. So Murder She Wrote is definitely on the list. What else is on here? It's fucking 21 Jump Street. Um, Heart to Heart Dungeon and Freak. Heart to Heart. That's a great fucking intro, man. I didn't care too much for the show, but the intro is really good. I mean, I'm not gonna reveal all of them. Next week is.
I say Perfect Strangers, but that's probably not quite 80s.
Freak Five says, I hope the Cosby Show isn't on the list. It almost made the list, Freak Five, but I did leave it off because Bill Cosby's a piece of shit. So I totally left Cosby Show off of the list. But I do have. I'll reveal one more.
Married with Children is a 90s show.
What's Happening Now, Freak Five, is on the list. Married with Children is on the list.
Wait, that's an 80s show?
Yeah.
89 then?
No, like 87 or 88, man. It was, I think maybe even 86.
So
Dungeon,
it's just barely there.
Dungeon says, is Otherworld on the list? Should it be? Should it be Dungeon? Because I can take off, shit, man. I can't take off much, man. Oh, man. I can take off Silver Spoons.
I don't know, because like Married with Children, isn't that just taking an old song and using it for the theme?
Yeah, but it's a great theme. I'm leaving it on the list. it counts, man. Fuck. It's up to me, Dungeon says. I think I'm keeping it as is, Dungeon. You're just wait till next week, Dungeon. You'll be. I think everybody's gonna be quite happy with the list that I personally curated for this top 64. I don't think there'll be very many disappointments. Like if I can pull Automan into the list, then you know I'm doing good work. I'm doing God's work here. So, Jesus, man, I've got some good ones. I've got good themes. There's one that I'm not sure of that I put on the list because it was so popular, but I didn't think it had a great intro. But maybe I'll do that. Oh, okay, I'll leave it up to you, Dungeon. I'll put on Otherworld, but I have to take Perfect Strangers off the list. Is it up? It's up to you. Let's see. It's all good. Sounds like there's already tons of Aiden. Oh, Dungeon. There's 64. It's 64 worthy tunes. The only one, like I said, Perfect Strangers was one that I was iffy about. Silver Spoons was another one that I was kind of iffy with that. I'll take Perfect Strangers out. I'll do it right now because I think that theme sucks anyway. So I'm taking Perfect Strangers out and I'm going to put in Otherworld. I think that's fair. But everything else, man, I mean, it's a solid fucking list, man. It's a solid. I'm pretty proud of this list, actually. Like, I know that I'm gonna leave out some that people are gonna be like, why didn't you include this and that and the other? But oh shit, you know what? I'm taking out Cosby Show. Cosby Show did make the list, but I'm gonna take that out. I'm gonna add back
Perfect
in.
Stranger back in.
Yep, I'm gonna add back in Perfect Strangers.
I thought you said the Cosby Show wasn't there.
What's that?
I thought you said it wasn't there.
I didn't think it was, but I just saw it. But I was on the fence on that one just because Cosby's such a worthless fuck. And I just wish that we could erase that whole memory out of our life. But there's a couple that I'm still iffy about. But for the most part, there's some great themes in here. I don't want to give shit away, man. But anyways, that's gonna do it for us, man. So next week Break will be back. He just had some prior engagements, as anybody on New Year's Day probably would have. Bulky was awesome. Okay, he's back on the list, Freak Five. Bulky was awesome, but that theme kind of sucks. But we'll see how it fares in the tournament next week. I doubt it gets out of the first round, to be honest with you. It's so bad. It's one of the worst themes, to be honest with you. But anyways. There's some good ones on here. I left a couple out that were kind of iffy too, but for the most part, I think I did a good job. All right, I think that's gonna do it for us. Eric, what you got for plugs?
You can find reviews on sites. Oh yeah, that's something I need to mention. But you can find reviews on sites like BostonBestReggae.com and TotallyGN.com. I've got a review of Space Invaders Forever, which also includes Arkanoid versus Space Invaders. I basically made them two separate reviews scores, but like they're technically a part of the same package you can buy on eShop, even though they're two different applications on your on your Switch. But you can look at that review. And if you like what I've written, you can go to my Patreon, which is in my Twitter profile, which is at EricRPG. But the thing about Totally GN is I'll probably not be writing reviews for there anymore, at least until further notice, because the web owner might not renew the site. So I might
that sucks,
have to find somewhere else to put links other than Boston Best Brigade.
Well, if not, Boston Bastard Brigade will be the exclusive home of your reviews, Eric, which might not be a bad thing, man. So
yeah, but I usually only can get one review per week there. That's a problem.
Yeah, I know. Hey, but it'll give you time to play.
Especially if I got publishers bugging me when the review will be up.
Yeah, I know, man. I know. Okay. What else you got, Eric? Anything else?
No.
Okay. I want to thank everybody in chat, mainly Dungeon and Freak 5, but there were others in there, like Clear Your Web Browser History. I love that name. Commander Root was in there.
Unless you want me to talk about how my sister safely declared her twins on the 27th.
Oh, well, great. Anything else, Eric?
I posted a picture on Twitter. I don't know if anybody saw that.
I don't think I turned off my notifications.
You did.
I did see, because you sent it to me, but I turned off my notifications on Twitter just because, like, my screen time was atrocious on my phone. So I'm trying to, like not be on my phone as much for the new year, I guess. It wasn't exactly a New Year's resolution or anything, because I don't believe in that shit. But, and it's been working. Like, since I turned off Twitter notifications and YouTube notifications and news notifications, I'm not nearly on my phone as much, which is good. But thanks to Go With Him, of course, our good friend Dungeon, our good friend Freak 5, Clear Your Browser History, Commander Root, and Violets_TV. Thanks for joining the chat. Really, really appreciate it. Thanks to all the archive listeners. Really appreciate you all listening on archives. If you guys want to join the show, guys and girls want to join the show live, we're live every Friday, 7 Eastern time. The chat's mostly on twitch.tv/rpgrinders, but you can also find us on YouTube. Just search RP Grinders. Here's to a new year, Eric. Even though things are still the same, it is a new year, so hopefully good things will happen. Yeah,
people already made the meme about January 1st, 2021, or 2022.
Yeah, nothing has changed, pretty much. But, there is new optimism and new hope, and hopefully that does work. If you're having trouble with life in general, reach out to somebody. I'm always on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at Frank Branches, although a little less now, but you can always send me a DM on Twitter or a message on Twitter. You can find me on any of the consoles, although I'm mostly on my PlayStation, so that would be either under RP Grinders or Frank Branches. You can find me. Reach out to somebody. The holidays are really tough on a lot of people, and it is rough sometimes. I've been there. I've had my issues with a lot of different things over the years. So if you're hurting, reach out, and I'm always available. You can always definitely get me on Twitter at Frank Branches. So, or you can even email me, frankbranches@gmail.com. If you're struggling, if you're having a tough time with anything, just reach out. There are people that can help. So I just want to make sure that's that's out there. I mean, just because it's a new year doesn't mean things might go great for you. So things might go bad. But it's not worth hurting yourself or others, so make sure you reach out. So, anything else, Eric?
You can continue to wear your mask, wash your hands, and don't touch your face as much as you probably do.
Yep. We got vaccines coming, so the light is at the end of the tunnel. It doesn't mean...
Also, if you're going to pick your nose, wash your hands right afterwards.
Yeah. It doesn't mean that, you can't still get sick. So be vigilant until we all get our vaccines. So
also, I need to get a flu shot tomorrow, so I'm doing that.
Yeah, do that, Eric. Okay.
Especially now that I got my new health insurance card, so I'm wondering what my deductible is going to be now.
Eric, so yeah, just and take care of each other as much as we can. It's pretty much all we got.
You cut out for a bit.
Yeah, I know my mic's starting to cut out, man. So here's to 2021. Hopefully everybody's doing well out there. If not, reach out. Stay safe this weekend. We want to see you back here next week for our greatest 80s TV themes tournament and everything else that we do. You can pick your friends, you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your friends' noses, is what Freak 5 says in chat. With that, we're out. Stay safe this weekend. See you back here next week. We're out. Wow, we got through a whole outro with no nonsense. Can't believe it. I blame Break, man. So, hey, everybody in chat, thanks so much. Really appreciate it. Freak 5, good seeing you again. Happy New Year to you and your family. Same with you, Dungeon. Hopefully, and everybody else in chat, hopefully this year will be better.
I also got a PSA for those who have HBO Max, but all of the Batman the Animated Series, as well as Batman Beyond and the uncut version of Return of the Joker, which I haven't seen and now I need to see, are on there, as well as the Green Lantern show.
Hey, is that Justice League Director's Cut on there yet?
Yeah, I think so.
Ooh, that might be something worth watching. Okay, everybody...
As well as the Batman vs. Superman Definitive Edition or whatever the fuck that's called.
Yeah, okay.
But that's a train wreck. I'm not sure I want to watch.
Yeah, I'm not watching that shit, man. Okay, everybody in chat.
Although I did hear that it helped improve the movie a bit, but that's not saying a whole lot, I think.
Yeah. Okay, it's like Shining a shit, man. Like, it's still a shit, Okay, thank you guys so much on YouTube and on Twitch. We really appreciate all your support over the years. So thank you guys so much. We'll see you next week.